Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's Rajinski from Mistiming TCG, and we have Bigman Yu-Gi-Oh!
What is up,
From
guys?
Mistiming TCG as well. Um, he decided to play something for this upcoming format, and we're just gonna look into sort of the glue, I guess. It's still glue, but it's not as gluey.
It's pretty good. What I'm playing, guys, is Gravekeeper Dragoon. It's a deck that you've probably seen last format, and I feel like with the control aspect that we're going to go through and all the combo decks that we have coming out, if you just go first and just, you don't even have to have the most optimal hand. Necro Valley says, good games, I win.
Alright,
So-
let's get into it.
Okay, so starting off, we have 3 Commandant. He's the one that searches your Necro Valley. Super essential to the whole deck. Even as a normal summon, he's a 2100 beat stick. That's pretty good running over problem cards.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory there.
Next, we have Headsman. So what this does is enables Verte and Anaconda place because this can target your Commandant that's in the graveyard, special summon it back, ignoring Necro Valley that's already on the field, and giving you so much advantage that it's just really unfair. Next, the reason why we always call it glue, 3 Inspector Border.
This is kind of like your pet card, isn't it?
Oh, I love this card. In this format, if you just summon this, especially with Necro Valley, what is your opponent gonna do? Sure, they have no effects. They have to special summon. Not a whole bunch of decks can go into link monsters with one monster, so like it's pretty good. It shuts down the meta. Only time that you ever see issues with it is with Eldritch, but even then, like most of them like going into like some type of Dragoon type play, and this just says no. So it's pretty good. Next, of course, we have the Red Eyes, the Dark Magician, and the Wyvern. It's a Dragoon deck, people. Come on now. 2021, we always know we need these core pieces. We always send this off Insight, and you always know why we need these beauties right here.
The bricks, yep, gotta
The
play them.
bricks. Okay, next for the spice. The reason why this deck goes burr. 1 second, sorting them out, y'all. So we have 3. We have 3 Pot of Extravagance. Pretty self-explanatory. You'll see why in the extra deck in a few. This card is just free 2 cards. I mean, like...
It's essentially just a pot of greed in your deck.
Exactly. Like, I don't use the extra deck except for Dragoon.
It's also an ash bait, which is kind of interesting, too.
Yeah, so, like...
So that way you can ash your Red Eyes Fusion.
So, I'm not going to lie to you. Back in older formats, people would really complain. I mean, not complain. They'll make fun of you for actually hitting this because there's, like, there's better cards to hit. I mean, dinos are still relevant, but I mean, like... This would be pretty good to hit going off. And, yeah, it's just a great ash bait. It just gives you pluses, needs you to go deeper, get you those combo pieces you need. It's really self-explanatory at this point. Next, we have triple Red Eyes Insight. And then we have triple Red Eyes Fusion. Pretty self-explanatory. Cards get you Dragoon. This reloads it to where your Dragoon can come back. So easy, so free. I don't know why people are not running more Dragoons in their deck. They say they're bricks, but I mean, like, I like having, like, a monster that burns, negates, and attacks over almost literally anything in the game. Alright, now for my favorite part of the deck. We have triple Necro Valley. For people who don't know what this does, it's not like Abyss Dweller that says you can't activate effects. Thing is, you can't move cards from your graveyard any other place. Once it's in the graveyard, it's stuck. So all you Eldritch players out there, I'm coming for you. All those traps you have are not going to work. I'm going to make sure I shut down your resources, and I'm going to have the advantage. This card is really good versus my Dragon League format today when I played this with arguably the best spell in the game, Royal Tribute. I just win. With these two cards on the field, this discards all monsters in each person's hand. So like in this format, when I go against Dragon Link, when I go against Bird or any type of stuff like that, I just win. Next, I play the Searcher of the deck, Necro Valley Throne. Searches you out your monsters. That's really just simple.
It's just the Rhoda of the deck,
just
yeah.
the Rhoda.
Just for consistency's sake.
Exactly, and the one terraforming.
Yep.
Next.
Would you play set rotation in this deck?
So, depending on how the format shapes out, it's not a bad card. But for right now, not really. Only time like I would see it is if like some other like field spell type deck is really out there. You can argue and just give them like, Black Garden or something like that. But I don't want to play bricks in my deck. I feel like right now this is the best and most optimal way to play it.
Sounds fair enough.
So let's go on to the traps. Solemn package. You already know we're being degenerate in this. We do not like people playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In this format. This basically just shuts down everything your opponent does, and then this just gets rid of like all your problem cards that you need to get rid of ASAP. Only issue is time, but I mean like chances are your opponent's gonna scoop under Dragoon and Necro Valley anyway. Next we have double summon limit. Summon limit wins games. I could have absolutely nothing on the field. I could have like a Dragoon access next turn, but if I have summon limit, I am shutting down whatever combo player's deck there is. This thing just clutches out games. This is an insane card. I don't know why it's ever been printed. Next we have TT. Pretty self-explanatory. Dragoon can't be destroyed by it. So get rid of your opponent's, problem monster.
It's essentially a Regeki on your opponent's turn.
Exactly. Some other spice that we have is Triple Crackdown. Arguably the best trap in the deck. So getting rid of problem cards like Vanity's Ruler, like the Wind Barrier statue is pretty good. Just getting rid of problem cards. Next we have There Can Only Be One. Chances are you're ending on a Dragoon anyway, so might as well lock out your opponent more. At this point, we're playing True Draco 2.0, shutting everybody down. Then we play the one macro. We don't really care about a graveyard too much. You can argue Red Eyes Wyvern, but I'd rather you have everything banished from your hand instead of just having it on the field or in the graveyard again. And that's it for the main deck. I believe that's 45 cards.
What would you change if you did had like other cards for options and stuff like that?
I have some other options. The thing is, maybe try to take down the Solemn package and adding, maybe like an anti-spell, something like that, something more to shut it down. But the way this deck plays and this consistency, you're always going to have your options. So I really wouldn't argue. The main deck is solid. Will we go on the extra deck inside? I can explain to you the more flexible options you have in this deck. And yeah, that's really basically it. So next we'll go on to the extra deck. We have triple of the best card in the game, Dragoon. So good. There's like no need to really explain. I mean, like we play Pot of Extravagance, so we don't want to banish all of our copies, so you need 3. Next we have double Vert. The reason why I run 2 is because of Pot of Extravagance, and you'll see why the rest of the extra deck. It'd be nice to have one, but it's not needed. Next we have triple Phoenix and triple Unicorn and 1 Cerberus. You may ask why. To be honest with you, I need fodder. That's all really what it is. What this deck can really use is Winter Cherries. Winter Cherries in this format, if you play the right cards, you can shut down your opponent. That card is instantly going into the side, maybe even main deck in this upcoming format. I just have to see what the meta decks are. And then we have one Zoroboros and double Romulus. Again, no need, just, you know.
It's just filler at that point, yeah.
Right. Then next onto the side deck. Not gonna lie to you guys, the side deck is not most optimal. Right now we have triple Cosmics. You know, self-explanatory. Control. You know, problem cards. Just get rid of them. One Fissure. Fissure is pretty good in this format, along with the Macrocosmos idea. Just getting rid of people's, you know, monsters. Double Anti-Spell. Anti-Spell is really good in this game. Shuts down cards that you need. Get rid of it, you know. It just gives you more advantage. Then double Dinomischus. You know, get rid of cards you need. It kind of sucks because people use this card to special summon from the graveyard, and with Necro Valley you can't. But, you know, it's just free banish, so I guess that's good. But if anything, I'll cut these for Winter Cherries. Triple Gamma Seal. The better option is the win one at this time because, you know, birds running around. This gets the job done in the right scenarios, but you really want to have the win ones for the most optimal play. And then you can't go wrong with triple Lancia because Lancia stops, you know, pots. VWs are still going to be a thing. Other summoning mechanics, Dragon Links, all that, they all banish, so this would be really good. And then for the memes, one Mystic Mine.
All right. Thanks, Bigman Miguel.
No
So
problem.
why did you choose this deck?
Well, I just feel like it counters the meta really well, this format. A whole lot of graveyard effects, and, you know, moving from the graveyard, banishing, back to the hand, back to the field. Even rogue decks at this point do it. It's the way that decks progressed that this old type of deck can really shut people down. And it's really consistent. Try it on Dueling Book, trying on Nexus. Like, you may get a Dark Magician in your hand, but all your other 4 other cards are just straight gas. It's a great deck, and I really feel like this deck, once it picks up steam, and, you know, adding new additions into it, will only make the deck better. This is just the rough draft right now.
All right, thanks, Bigman.
No problem. Subscribe.
Like and comment. Again,
Yes, sir.
Rajinski signing out.